Hi guys, it's Jamila. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be sharing my tips for getting out of a reading slump. And I really hope this helps you guys. It helped me. Yeah, so thought I'd share. And sorry if the lighting is a little bit weird or anything. I'm just kind of trying things here. So yeah. Okay, so tip number one for getting out of a reading slump for me is to just not read. If you don't feel like reading, don't force yourself to read and make yourself even more sick of reading or get yourself into an even worse reading slump. Just don't do it. Don't force yourself. Give yourself a couple days or a week or so to kind of chillax and do other things, like do different hobbies. If you like to game. If you like watching TV shows, whatever, like do something different, switch it up. But the one warning I have with this tip is don't go too crazy. Try not to go over a week without reading anything. So the next tip is reread a book that you know you love. And this is actually something I've heard people say, but only recently realized it actually works. I was in a really bad reading slump and then I read Strange the Dreamer, and when I tell you it took me straight out of my reading slump, because I know that's a book that I really love and really enjoy, and I loved it even more the second time reading it, and it just really motivated me to read more books, and we love to see it. There's something about experiencing that magic of a book you love that just makes reading seem so much more possible again. The next tip is shop your shelves and try a chapter. If you're like me or a lot of us on BookTube, you probably have a pretty decent size TBR, and if you do, the best thing to do is shop your shelves. And I kind of got that phrasing. I saw a video recently that Life as Monet did, and I just thought it was like the smartest, cutest thing ever. Check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, just like shopping through your TBR, not even having to go to the store, obviously, because you have a bunch of unread books you may have forgotten the synopsis for, you don't know you might be interested in right now. So shop your shelves, find a book that speaks to you, and try a chapter. And if that chapter doesn't speak to you, pick up a different book and try a chapter. Keep sampling your books until you find something that really intrigues you, and you'll know because you'll go past one chapter. So my next tip is, when you're attempting to read to get out of your reading slump, make sure you're comfortable and have a nice separate space to read from people and the hustle and bustle. It could be a quiet place to read. Whatever is the best optimal setting for you to get as much reading done as possible. Or just enough, you know? It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to give you that little taste. The next tip, if you're more of a person who needs a type of schedule, try to schedule 30 minutes in your day. Maybe even start off at 10 or 15 minutes to kind of get back into it. Schedule that time out in your day and make sure you read during that time every day, and just make sure it's something you're super interested in. And I really feel like this helps sometimes when you're just like all out of whack and just trying to figure things out. That 10 to 15 to 30 minutes really makes a difference if you can actually manage to read. And just remember, if it feels like a chore, you're doing it wrong. Another tip I have is to switch up genres. It can be such a game changer to try something different, and this is also something that keeps me out of a reading slump. I read different genres at once. If one genre isn't working for me or one book isn't working for me, I'll switch up genres and try something else, and usually that'll keep me from going into a reading slump, and it'll usually take me out of one. So my next tip here is to switch up formats. Change up your formats and how you're reading. If you usually read physically, try ebook format so that all you have to do is scroll while you're reading or whatever. If you usually do ebook, try audiobook, etc. Like, just switch it up. Try to read in different ways until you can find a way that's most comfortable to help you get back into reading. I find that audiobooks really help me because it kind of helps me concentrate without me having to put in a lot of effort. I can just literally lay down and listen. Or I could be doing chores, and instead of listening to music or something like that, I'll listen to an audiobook, and it really kind of just almost automatically brings you back into the reading world. The next tip I have is change up your scenery, you guys. If you always read in one spot, or you're always reading in the house, try reading by an open window while it's raining or it's a beautiful day outside with nature sounds, or try to go outside on your porch or balcony or to a park and have a little picnic and read. Something to just switch it up. Sometimes I even go to the bookstore or the library and I'll just find a cozy space away from people. Sometimes at the bookstore I'll sit on the floor. I know this is kind of gross, but I'll find a nice little corner and I'll sit on the floor in front of some shelves that people don't normally go to, and I will start reading a book. And it really gets me in the mood to be surrounded by books and like the light ASMR in the background of people shopping. Good stuff, you guys. If you haven't tried it, try it. Get you a nice little drink at the cafe, like really set the mood. And that always like gives me a little reading boost, you know? So put some spice on your life, okay? Okay, so my next tip is to watch positive reviews of books that are on your TBR. Watching positive reviews and seeing someone else's excitement about a book that I may have lost my excitement for over time just because I haven't gotten to the book yet, that really helps me regain my excitement and want to just dive into the book. I can't even explain how much just seeing someone's face glow from a book they really enjoyed makes me want to pick it up immediately. The next tip I have is to play ASMR in the background while you try to read. For some reason, playing something in the background really helps me focus on the words that I'm reading. I usually don't play anything that has people speaking or words in it, but a good ASMR video, those relaxing sounds. I don't know if any of you guys have used anything like ASMR rooms or something of that nature. Playing that on YouTube while you're reading really helps me get in the zone. Another tip is to read shorter things, whether that be graphic novels, comics, or just, I don't know, novellas, short stories, whatever works. Something that you can finish quickly so that you could say you read the whole thing and it makes you feel like a reader again. I don't know if that's just me, but finishing a book really helps me feel like I can actually read, because I know some of us get into a really bad slump and then we feel like, was I ever a reader? Am I a reader anymore? You're questioning your whole reading existence. You don't have to do that, boo. You ain't gotta do that. Yeah, just literally try reading something shorter and finishing a couple of graphic novels or comics quickly, and it just kind of reignites the idea that you actually are capable of finishing a book. So my next tip, which is a big one, is just to mood read. Like, read whatever makes you happy, read whatever is just vaguely interesting to you. Don't read within strict guidelines, just kind of do what feels right to you in the moment, and I guarantee you'll usually come out of a reading slump like that. If you're giving yourself too many rules, too many prompts, too many things that are telling you what you have to read, it can get a little bit not fun sometimes. I mean, it can be fun the other way around, but it can be a little not fun. So just look at your shelves, pick some things up, see what interests you, and mood read the heck out of it. Another tip is to buddy read an anticipated book with a friend. Buddy reading with a friend can really make an experience that may have just been average for you when reading a book into an extraordinary experience, and you'll look at that book and you'll always think of who you read it with and how much fun you had talking about it, and it just kind of helps you get out of a slump if you have somebody encouraging you and someone to talk about the juicy parts of the book with. I think that helps a whole lot. Another tip I have is read a book that's not on your TBR and don't feel guilty about it. If you're like me, sometimes your TBR list is just out of control and it's a lot of pressure to feel like you can only pick books from that TBR, and if you don't, you're slacking because you have so many books to read. But really, in reality, who cares? If you don't feel like reading anything that's on your shelves and you just want something that is, I don't know, at the library. Go ahead, read what you want. Even if you have a 100-book TBR or something like that and you need to read those, you'll get to them. It's okay. I'm giving you permission to read something that's not on your TBR. Just do it and enjoy yourself. So my next tip is to buy or borrow a book that you're really excited about, and go ahead and read it right then while you're super excited about it. I feel like it really helps me get through a book fast if, as soon as I'm excited about it, as soon as I'm ready to read it and I have that urge to borrow from the library or buy the book and just read it right then, it really helps you to zoom through a book, honestly. So give it a shot. Buy or borrow something you're super hype about and just dive right in it and ride that excitement till the wheels fall off. The next tip I have is to sample books through your library. You don't have to have a big TBR to get back into reading or anything like that. You don't have to buy anything. Just borrow some books from your library. You probably have a certain amount of borrows, but if you're not reading anyway, borrow all the books, try all the books, see what works for you and read it. You have so much opportunity with your library to try as many books as you want and find the one that's right for you so you could get back into reading. So use it. Something else that I find encouraging for me to get back into reading is to share my reading progress online. If you have an Instagram, a Bookstagram, a Book Talk, whatever you have, even a vlog if that works for you. I personally really like Bookstagram and I like sharing my reading progress on my story because people interact with it and kind of like encourage you to keep reading if they love the book, or they'll tell you their thoughts about the book if they've read it, and it just makes it more interactive and fun to get through a book. So I like to read a book and give updates and things like that and hear other people's feedback or funny thoughts, and it really kind of gets me back into reading because you have that sense of community and you feel like you're not alone trying to read. So yeah, I think that is something that really helps me. So yeah, you guys, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you really found some tips that are actually helpful. I'm sorry if you didn't and I just gave you some recycled crap, but these are things that I actually thought about that helped me get out of a reading slump. So I really hope it helps some of you guys, and please let me know if any of them do help, or what is something that you do to get yourself out of a reading slump. I'd love to hear it, so please comment down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and all of your support, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.